I wanna fly in the blue sky. I wanna fly until I die.
Hello, my name is Jimmy. I have a bachelor degree in economics and master's in MBA. I also have 8 years of experience in Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and co-related areas. Bitcoin, a risk-free investment with over 30% annual return. Why you think long-term? Why we should think long-term? In this video, we look at how Bitcoin can offer a risk-free annual return of 30% and much higher, and why Bitcoin investors prefer Bitcoin over traditional assets like dollar, gold, and stocks. We also discuss why every investor should have some exposure to Bitcoin in 2025. Please note that risk-free refers to the safety of investment, but it's important to understand that no investment is completely free of risk. We also talk about how the difference between volatility and returns makes Bitcoin an attractive choice for long-term investors. In the past 15 years, Bitcoin has generated around 30% annual returns, putting in the category of risk-free assets, especially for investors who understand its fundamentals. When I started getting into crypto in 2017, the motto was only invest in Bitcoin what you can afford to lose. Today, with the companies like BlackRock, MicroStrategy, pension funds, countries like El Salvador, where Bitcoin is already official legal tender, Donald Trump is talking about introducing Bitcoins as a part of the US strategic reserves. The situation has changed. Such move could strengthen confidence in Bitcoin as a global asset and open a new investment opportunities. This shows how seriously Bitcoin is being discussed in high political and economic circles. Put your money where your mouth is. Back up your words with actions. Personally, I have long invested in Bitcoin and believe into so much that when I look at investments, I always ask myself, if I have my money in Bitcoin and expect stable returns of 30% over the next 10-20 years, someone has to offer me something that generates more than that. For example, if someone promises 40-50% returns, but with significant taxes, it could end up being less than 40%, which still isn't as good as Bitcoin secure 30% annual return. Bitcoin is the fastest horse, and no other assets class is likely to beat this return in the next 10-20 years. Also, if you are invested in Bitcoin and have a long-term perspective, volatility won't bother you. You only care about annual return, not the daily fluctuations. You might be asking, what does risk-free mean in the context of Bitcoin? The difference between volatility and risk is important to understand this concept. The dollar, for example, has no volatility, but also have no annual return. If you hold it, its value stay the same, meaning you live in the fat world. But Bitcoin grows about 60% per year against the dollar. If you look back the last 8, 10, 12 years, this return remains stable. Imagine Bitcoin is like a train moving at 60 miles an hour. If you're on the train and someone is watching from the outside, it may seem scary. But for you, being on the train and taking the time to educate yourself by reading books, listening to podcasts, and doing your own research, your confidence grows over the time. I sleep peacefully because I live by the Bitcoin standard and see that despite rising inflation, which understandable worries those around me, everything becomes cheaper for me because I have invested in Bitcoin. I have Bitcoin reserves, and Bitcoin serves as a store of value when you think long term. Capital growth is natural, and you don't worry about the speed because you know it leads to long-term success. Volatility and how to handle it. The idea is that Bitcoin is gradually developing into a more stable and efficient system. Over the time, technology and practice are being introduced to reduce the energy of for mining and transactions fee. This makes the network more resilient and economically viable. Once you understand this progressive nature of Bitcoin and realize it becomes stronger and more reliable as an asset over time, short-term price is volatility lose their importance. Instead of worrying about temporary drops or rises, your focus shifts to the long-term potential and growth. Volatility is like the water in waterfalls. It moves in a certain way, and this is a natural process. Similarly, Bitcoin price fluctuations are part of its evolution and adoption. Even though they may seem unpredictable or scary, they are nothing to worry about as they are a natural part of the growth and development of the system. Therefore, if you invest in Bitcoin with a long-term view, it becomes less risky the longer you hold. The history of Bitcoin shows that there hasn't been a period in over 4 years where it lost value. In contrast, the dollar loses purchasing power over the time. Bitcoin is an ideal asset for investors who can think long-term. If you are worried about short-term fluctuations, you probably don't understand the bigger picture. For those who understand the fundamentals of Bitcoin and have the patience to wait, it offers one of the most risk-free long-term investments. I hope this video was helpful, and now you understand how Bitcoin offers returns that are hard to beat by other assets. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. This is not financial or investment advice. Thanks for watching.